Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV and welcome back to Northwest Divide. We are live and we are on our way to Wembley, where the famous Man United and we go to Wembley.
Does the Carabao Cup matter now?
Hey?
Does the Carabao Cup matter now?
Listen, when you've not won a trophy in 6 years, mate, listen, anything counts. Listen, I am shameless. You know me, man. I don't hide away from being shameless. I will celebrate that trophy like there's no tomorrow, mate. So, no parade. We're not Liverpool. We're not doing no parades. You might have a mini parade in my house, but we're not going on to Liverpool High Road and, you know what I mean, and whatnot. But yeah, listen, we're here. We're active. Man like James Redmond's in the building. James, how are we?
I am all Gucci, my friends. Hectic couple of days, which has made it really difficult to do content. So, like I said, if my Wi-Fi is messing up, let me know. I can go outside very easily. That being said, it's great to be on the channel. This is my, in terms of collaborations, by far one of my favourite channels to come on. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat as well. So, guys, make sure you're smashing the likes, get the video more out there. And if you want to see the show more often, then that's all you need to do. Anyway. Are we starting with you bullying me, or are you gonna start?
No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna start with Chelsea. We're gonna start with Chelsea. Obviously, you know what? Okay. Actually, no. We're gonna do. How have you found the transfer window? What's your idea? Idea. Transfer window's closed now. What have you made of it all? The madness that's gone on. Before we're gonna go on to who's ruined the transfer market, but yeah,
the Super League's already here. It's already here, my G. No, here's the score, right, Saeed. At the end of the day, when you see one league outspending all the other leagues by exponential amounts, you know, that's some sort of insight of a Super League, especially when the best players in the Prem are not English. You know, they are all from different leagues, or La Liga, Portugal, wherever you want to name them. These players just they make our league better. Now, the one thing that the Premier League have done kind of okay is that they split the TV rights, whereas, let's say, Barcelona or Real Madrid, they were more wanting to be, right, why are all these other teams going to make a lot of money when we bring in the majority of the revenue, which is going to create an imbalance in competitiveness in the league. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot if they wanted their league to be what it was. But now, that's why you're only going to see either Barca, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid win the league title for the majority of the seasons, whereas in the Prem, we've already seen it can differ at times, whereas it doesn't look like there's going to be an imbalance in that league, whereas now you've got Newcastle coming to the forefront, Arsenal now competing. I mean, Chelsea, terrible recently, granted, but they can only be so many signings away before they become a challenger again. So from a Liverpool fan point of view, it was shite. Otherwise, it was a really entertaining, mad transfer window.
Yeah, we're just getting some breaking news as well. I don't know if it's true. Yeah, seriously, about Mason Greenwood. I don't know if it's true though. Yeah, apparently they're saying that he's been cleared of charges. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is.
Yeah, definitely be careful in case it's not. But if it is, mad.
Yeah, apparently it's on United Plug. I've just tweeted it. I think GMP have tweeted out something as well. Mason Greenwood. Oh shit! Swear down, yeah. We just got on here. I'll screen share it here. Mason Greenwood today had all charges of attempted rape, assault, and coercive control against him dropped. What? That's mad. Wow. Guys, can let me know in the chat if it's true or not. Because obviously if it's true, we don't want to make up fake stories and whatnot. But I don't think United Plug would put that out there. Let me know if it's true. But yeah, man, I don't know. This is crazy, man. Obviously, I thought the situation would have happened in what you call it next year. The trial wasn't it meant to be next year. The trial.
I have no clue. But I knew he was going to be fine. They've been following each other on Instagram for months. They've been fine for time.
Yeah, I heard something last week about it, but obviously I didn't want to talk about it. But you know what I mean? I've heard something about it as well. But listen, let me go on Samuel Lucas, who's apparently obviously our chief reporter for Man United. Let me see what he said. Yeah, he's put on here. Okay. Criminal proceeding against 20-year-old young man in connection with investigation opened him in January 2022 have today been discontinued by CPS. Oh, Mason Greenwood has charges against him dropped. Wow.
Well,
wow.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'll be real with you. I don't know what to think because it's like obviously you have to go in a judge. No, but end of the day, when we heard all these stories, everybody's like guilty. But you have to go in a court of law to obviously prove that, and obviously you have to do the kind of jurisdictional, kind of restrictions and that. Obviously now it's kind of a situation now as to what happens. What happens next? Does he come back into the Man United team? You know what I mean? What happens? Obviously the manager will now speak to him. The club will make appropriate actions. But it's mad. You know what I mean? I didn't see this coming. That's why it's shocked right now.
First of all, you're right. People will just go with the negative things. And listen, reasons for it, by the way, there's voice notes, there's things out there that certainly don't go for Greenwood. That being said, you have to have a premise, and the premise is the law. And when if they're saying it sounds, maybe the voice note was just a voice note. And let's say if it weren't, there's no evidence to suggest that. And if you're going to live off a world with no premise, that's a very dangerous world to live in. So as far as I'm concerned, obviously Manchester United couldn't let him out the squad because that means that they would have, I don't know the exact terms, but of course they'd be like sort of agreeing that he's done that when there was no evidence for it, and that's obviously illegal. This is interesting. I think of course, if it's been dropped, he should be allowed to play. I don't really think it's much debate. It's just like you said, is he good enough to play? Is he fit enough to play? Is everything all good in the camp? That's the real question that you've got to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, it depends. Obviously, the manager wants to bring him back into the fold, you know what I mean, and whatnot. So, listen, let's see what happens with that one. Obviously, it's still raw, people. But yeah, do check the news out. Do make your own.
Saeed, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the manager last time he was playing? He wasn't he?
Was it Ole or was it Ragnick?
Was it the start of Ragnick?
Was it Ralph Ragnick, people? I think it might have been Ralph Ragnick the last time he was playing.
I'm just thinking if it was Solskjaer, he's had 2 manager changes in the time that he's been gone, which goes to the question which you brought up, like what the hell happens with Mason Greenwood? Because from what we know, let's remove circumstances, because as far as I'm concerned, if he's being cleared, we can now talk about him as a footballer again.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really a terrible thing, and until we see further evidence
Yeah,
or news or updates, and whatever. So we don't want to act like we're being careless, but Greenwood coming back into the team, that's obviously exciting in some way, shape or form, because even at the age of 18 and 17, he was one of the most ruthless finishers I've probably seen in recent time at that age. And I'm a big fan of Greenwood. I think he started to show a lack of all-round game.
Yes.
I think that was where, once he started getting further on with Ollie, whether it was the management, whether it was the coaching, which it very well could be, he just didn't look like he was evolving. It actually looked like he was trying to be too one-dimensional. I don't know if you agree.
Facts, yeah, 100%. And I think his game wasn't kind of complete in that sense. And obviously, I do see him as a striker in the future. I really do. I know he played on the right-hand side, but I do see him as a striker in the future. And don't get me wrong, his overall qualities as a player, you know what I mean, is unbelievable. And I think now that we've got a new manager in place, again, like I said, I don't know how he'll develop him and how he'll kind of get his fitness back up. Because, bro, he's not played for almost, a year? Like, over a year? You know what I mean? He's not played football. January, I think it was last January, where the situation, the news came out. So, you know, it's going to be a long time till we see him fully back in. But again, like the manager said, man, you know what I mean? The manager will have a plan and he'll do it in his own way. What he's done with Ronaldo's situation, what he's done with Sancho. Look at the way Sancho, out of nowhere, no one knows what happened with Sancho. Like, no one will know, probably. You know what I mean? I know there's probably been a grievance or whatnot, but look how he's managed Jadon Sancho. And he'll do the same with Mason Greenwood. He'll bring him in. We'll see if he brings him in slowly, but it will be a methodical way. It won't be just kind of bring him back to the fold and let the fans be excited again. No, it's going to have to be done the right way. Legal processes, everything like that. You're going to have public outlashing now. Don't get me wrong. There is going to be a public outlash because then people want maybe retrials and stuff like that. So I don't see him coming anytime soon, but this is come out of nowhere. This is absolutely come out of nowhere.
Do you know why Brady. I think this should probably... Do you know why I think this should probably... Sorry, definitely read that out in a sec. I just wanted to make one last point on, if it is discontinued and there's no more trials and stuff like this, we probably should put it to bed, purely based on the premise. We follow each other on Instagram. There's probably a reason for that, opposed to, like, let's just seem like we're sweet. They're probably cool. So, again, I don't know the in-depth details, but if you're going to go based off the premise, then let's just... He needs to at least have the chance, whether it's with United or someone else.
Absolutely. Big up to Brady Bashaw says, big up from Ohio. James Wi-Fi movie like Lizzo. Yeah. Big up, man. But he's here, man. He's here and he's active. So big up, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's the Mancunian connection. Maybe it's a Mancunian.
Do you know what I'll do? Let me go outside.
It's calm.
It'll be better outside. No, honestly,
I don't think anything was wrong with it.
Oh, okay. As long as it sounds.
Yeah. I think it would sound me. You know what I mean? Until you literally did that, it would sound. So, big up Soleil BGR. Oh my God, I love Mason. I'm sorry. Now we might not sign a new striker. Awesome, we'll go Chelsea. Again, listen, Soleil, I know you're excited, but this is just news right now. We don't know what's going to happen with that news. So it doesn't mean he's back. It doesn't mean he's anything. You know, you don't know yet. So I think step by step, don't get too excited. Because again, there was still a victim involved. There was still people involved, families and whatnot. So we have to be respectful on all parties. That's what I would say for me. But yeah, listen, man. Let's go back to the January transfer window and how crazy it was. You know what? You're right. You know, in terms of Super League, I do think now the Premier League has in itself become a Super League because now the money involved. Look at Southampton and Bournemouth spending money. Like Southampton and Bournemouth are spending crazy money, and this is what it's mad. And I think January transfer window, I think La Liga spent 220 million. Sorry, I think the Premier League spent over 700, 800 million. This is where it's at right now. It's crazy, man. The money that's been spent in this league is mad, and it's dog eat dog. It's survival of the fittest, and you're not gonna get teams like now just kind of steady Eddie. Now you have to perform. You have to be up there, James.
100%. The volume of players of what teams can bring. Just seeing Nottingham Forest bring in 28 players, a full squad of players. We're not talking a starting 11. We're not talking an 11 and a bench. We're talking about a bench, reserve, starting 11 worth of players. Chelsea have not gone far below that. And that to me is like, I don't know what to even think of that, because there's one thing about, and listen, people mention Todd Bowley. I know he's doing anything wrong. No, he's not. This is the mad thing. Now, this is where you've got to look at the regulations and maybe question those regulations. That being said, Todd Bowley's doing what he can do. If you're not going to find loophole, it's like the way people, you know, they'll buy something that probably weren't even directed towards work, but can class as something for work, so you can remove it off your taxes. I'm not sure. You know, people have their own little ways of doing stuff. And I don't know, mate. I think that Chelsea done what they needed to do if they were able to do that, which clearly they was.
You know what though? Have they set a precedent now of how transfers are going to become now? Because I just feel like now, if you're linked with a player now, you're linked with you want Jude Bellingham in the summer, right? Liverpool, Chelsea are now going to come in and outdo you. They will pay 150 million. So Chelsea now have become a problem. Like people said, City were ruining football and City were doing this and that. I'm not saying Chelsea are ruining football, but I'm just saying now Chelsea have now set the precedent now of to how much transfers are going to become, and they will outdo you guys. Like, you know, you put in a bid now for a certain price, Chelsea, they'll just be like, you know what, see you later. Todd Bowley and whoever's in charge will be like, see you later. So it's crazy, man. I just think for me now, the Premier League now is becoming a crazy league now, and you know this is where it's at. The TV rights, like I said, you know what I mean. Everything that's included right now with the Premier League and the package that you get with the Premier League is absolutely mad. It's mad, people. So hopefully James Redmond can join us in a bit. Big up Ash. Has anyone said a super chatting? Ash, what have you said, Ash? Let me know what you've said. It's the Super League. Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. But yeah, hopefully James Redmond will be back. Please, guys, smash the like on the video. I don't normally stream at this time, so please get the algorithms up. And like I said, you know what I mean? What did you say, Ash? What did you say? What did you say? The Premier League is going to bust. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. Do you reckon, though? I don't think so, you know. The way the Premier League is and how dynamic the Premier League is, I don't think it will go bust. I really don't. I don't think it will go bust. I really don't. Yeah, listen, bro, just read the comment out again. Obviously, there's a lot of people in the chat. Just put your comment out again and I'll read it. Apple will be buying rights to the Premier League next season. Bro, I think Amazon should take the Premier League. Amazon or Netflix, take over the Premier League, and I think we'll be Gucci. Like, imagine now the Premier League, yeah, having Amazon or Netflix style. Everybody take a £10, what do you call it? £10 option, £10 a month. You pay for all the football, subscription only. I think they'll be clear, man. I think they'll be clear. We've got James Redmond back.
Yeah,
James,
boys,
what are you saying, man?
I'm chill, lad. I'm outside because I get more connection out here where I am at the moment.
That's fine.
So, is this sweet?
Yeah, that's calm. That's calm, bro. That's calm.
Brill.
I was going to say, you think the Premier League should be bought by Amazon or Netflix and then have a subscription only, etc., just to kind of boost the Premier League and whatnot and etc., etc. I think it will be crazy.
It'd be more cost effective for sure for a lot of people. I don't know if it's more obviously financially viable for them, but depending on the deal, it might make sense. I'm not too sure, to be honest, just because I don't know the logistics behind it all. And, you know, because you've got to look at it from a point of view of, okay, yeah, that benefits us. But they're not really caring about what benefits us. That's why they've constantly tried to higher the ticket prices. That's why they tried to make the Super League in the first place. This is the reason why the Premier League will overcharge. This is why they tried to do the thing where they were making people pay to watch a shit Newcastle versus Fulham for 15 quid during COVID times. And they don't care about the fans. So, to be honest with you, if I'm going to make an assessment on these individuals, I have to do it in a very specific way. And they're greedy. So for them, I don't think it's beneficial, and therefore I don't think we should expect to see it anytime soon. But of course, for us, it's much better.
Yeah. Big up to Sonic. He says, big up, Say, congrats on 60k. You deserve it. Appreciate it, my bro.
Oh, did you reach 60k?
Yeah, man, 60k, bro.
Yes.
Man. We've reached the 60k club. Come on, man.
Yes.
We out here.
Big stuff.
Come on, man. EPL has been a Super League for years. Not surprised at all. Its global appeal, I've noticed since 9-10, to be honest. Yep, there you go then.
But that's the structure of the other leagues. To be honest, the Premier League have probably done it the best to where, okay, money's coming into football. Let's at least try and make it so everyone can have money. And they've tried to limit this before, like the way they limited the Newcastle takeover. But you can see the power that teams have to spend now. And with the financial fair play rules eased this season, and obviously Todd Bowley and others trying to find ways and loopholes around it, teams will be able to spend. So it's more competitive, which is probably better than seeing only Barcelona or Real Madrid win the league for a 30, 40-year period. Whereas at least in England, you'll get Chelsea and City and Man United, and Liverpool might win the odds one, Leicester wins the odds one. Like, it can be that type of dynamic, which in my opinion is a more exciting league. But it's too. I don't know. It's gonna be too far, seeing the way it is. Like, this is worse than career mode. You can't even do this on career mode with a £1 billion budget.
And Chelsea will still keep spending, by the way. So again, does it disrupt what do you call it, Man City's kind of title charge and whatnot? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind of glad, maybe in a sense, Chelsea are coming along the way, because then Man City's kind of like dominance might be altered a little bit, and then Chelsea, might come in, and obviously Man United will come in. Are you worried about you guys? Because obviously FSG, it's not looking great at the minute. You didn't buy any midfielders in January. Are you going to cope with Chelsea spending, possibly Man United new ownership? I know you guys are still looking to get new owners, but are you worried about the future?
I'm shitting myself. And the reason why I'm shitting myself is because people say to me, "Oh, James, you're a crying Liverpool fan who says that you don't spend." No, of course. If you want to compare us to every team in Serie A, then yes, we spend. If you want to compare us to every team in La Liga, yes, we spend. Which is probably why we do okay in the Champions League as well, because them teams just seem to suit us more. We rise to the occasion more against the bigger sides historically. And why we've done so well in Europe and the track record that we've got there, because we are more designed to thrive in cup competitions, just with the depth that is in our squad. But we are not comparing us to those teams. We're comparing us to the Newcastles, who are now financially superior to us. We are comparing ourselves to, I can see a team above your head there, Saeed, Aston Villa, who are financially superior to us.
Billionaire owners.
Wolves, who are below me, financially superior to us. Saeed, Everton are financially superior to us. So, all right, forget about Darwin Núñez, 80 million, fair enough. Big signing, for sure. I'm not trying to act like we're skint, but in comparison to these other teams, you will fall behind. And already FSG have demonstrated on more than one occasion that they are more than happy with getting Champions League money, that they are happy with being one of the best, hence the Super League. That was the difference, because if FSG went into the Super League, they'd have been, in my opinion, bottom three. I think Liverpool would have been a bottom three team if all 12 or whatever many teams there was ended up in the Super League. Now, maybe it could change because we then become one of only 12 teams who can receive X amount of money. That being said, Saeed, right now, in this current climate or situation with the other teams, that's where we're going to fall behind, because we can't compete with them financially. And I've said for years, FSG not only lack ambition, they lack resources, they lack the real IQ on the decision making that they need to make, because you're seeing a lot of players right now getting older, and they don't give Klopp enough control on the players that he purchases. So all these decisions from the pitch, after the pitch, and everything in between is what causes the damage that we're seeing right now, which is inconsistency. Because people can say trophies, or you won 2 trophies last year. That was with we had a fairly decently fit squad last season. Like, it was still injuries, but not unlike this year, and not unlike 2 years ago. And whether people like it or not, that's going to play a factor. So, yeah, I am worried about Liverpool, and I have been worried about Liverpool even when we were winning trophies. I was boasting about the present. I was like, we're sick now. This is one of the greatest Premier League teams now. Not that. Like, people misconstrued when I said, like, oh, Van Dijk was the best, like, he's the best in the world right now, is what I said. I said back then, Van Dijk right now is the best in the world. I never ever, the same way that some people say, oh, Casemiro is the best DM in the world right now, or whatever, and that's a fair argument, by the way. It's a very present opinion, and, a lot of fans misconstrued that, like, oh, you were saying your players were the best player in the world. Of course, that can change.
Yeah, you know what is though, and again, like I said, FSG is a problem as well, and whatnot. But is there a little bit to blame as well on Klopp as well? A little bit on Klopp, because then
no man is
there's
perfect.
reports.
Yeah.
No, and you know what? Nobody is perfect. But there's a report coming out that FSG did give the money to Klopp to go and buy someone in January, and he preferred to go and get Gakpo when it was alarming that you guys needed a midfielder. So is there a blame on Klopp there for going to buy another forward instead of a midfielder? Because go on,
sorry. I was just simply going to say that he doesn't have the control on who he buys. So, of course, he has an influence. He'll meet the player. He'll say, this is the project. He will agree that this is a player that will improve his system. But if I come to you right now and say, right, say you need a pen, a pencil, and a rubber because you've got an assignment to do, and I bring you a pen in the short term, but you need a pencil because you might need to rub some stuff out. I'm giving you something you need maybe for later on, but I've only got the pen now. I'll give you the pen, even though you need the pencil and rubber now. I've only got a pen, so here you go. There's that resource. You can make do with what you've got there, but I still need to go and get your pencil and rubber, and that's what the midfielders are, because it's not just one; it's multiple. And this is what I'm saying to you, lad. Like at the end, okay, so fine, you've gave me a pen, but I need a midfielder. And that's the difference, Saeed. That's why this board is incompetent, because they will only go for option number 1, 2, or 3. They're not thinking about number 4 or 5 because they want to get number 1 or 2 first. They don't want to spend 40 million or 30 million on Amrabat because they don't know how much they're going to need for Jude Bellingham. And that is the number 1 target. Whether we get him or not, whether he ends up joining us or not, it's very, very evident on the most reliable journalists, people that I know connected to the club. Like, that's the player that Liverpool wants, no doubt about it. But there's nothing behind that, and that's not the only thing we need.
Big up to Ashes. Check the Twitter. Hannah Othman. She has CPS statements on Greenwood. Listen, people, I'll be doing Mandem Talk at 5:30, United specific show. So please, we're going to go speak about that more in depth, 5:30, people. So please tune in for that one. But yeah, listen, I think with Klopp, though, you know what I mean? And I did put the title as Klopp, the new Wenger, because Wenger, towards the end of his career, kept making a little bit of excuses as to why certain things weren't happening. And you kind of almost protected the football club. And you don't want to do that. You don't want that kind of feeling of you're being the shield for the FSG. And then what happens then is people then start to attack Wenger. And then now people start to attack Klopp. And I think Klopp has done a lot at Liverpool for the fan base not to turn on him. And this is a similar situation maybe with Wenger, where at the end, you've seen it, you know, there was a lot of Wenger out, a lot of campaign against Wenger. And it won't be nice to see that. So is there a feeling for you that you kind of be like, you know what, you wanted to go down that road? Or are you kind of like nah, Klopp's nowhere near Wenger?
You might have a point. It might end up being that. I don't know if it's that now, but yeah, of course, if it goes for another couple of seasons. But that just truly demonstrates the lack of education that certain fans have, and especially large fan bases, because large fan bases have such a huge voice, yet so many stupid opinions and uneducated opinions. So they come up with these conclusions based on an in-the-moment emotion, and that's why, that's why any football club wouldn't thrive based on the opinion of fans. And listen, Jurgen Klopp, for me, I know what he is. I know he's a world-class coach. I know he can build a team. People can say he's finished all he's wants. He can still win. He's still great. I just believe he has a lack of resources. I'm not saying he has no resources, just in comparison to other teams. It's going to be hard to keep up when they're always evolving, and we've still got the majority of players in our 11 from years ago. Or we're using players who were brought to be backup. Shimmercast was brought to be a backup. So, for instance, when he's playing, it's a player who was there just to accommodate, opposed to someone for the future, or someone who could challenge Robertson. Now, I don't disagree that Klopp favours players at times. I don't disagree that he might play certain players too much. But right now, he's got very limited options. He's got to do what he can do. I'm not saying he's making the most out of them, but the club's a shithole at the moment. So I don't really give a fuck what other fans say. They've been wrong many times to this point. Everyone said Núñez was going to be Suarez. No, not even close, not even in the same hemisphere. Even the delusion of, people saying Salah, like Salah this, Salah that, he is being gobshite. He's been worse than Núñez. Núñez at least tries things. And it's not a hateful thing. I love Salah. He's a legend. But let's think like winners. Let's think for the right here and right now. If I have a pen and it stopped working, as great as that pen was before, it's not now, so I need to get a new one. Salah needs to
You like your pens, don't you? You like your pens, don't you?
Into my pens, lad. It's an analogy that's on the tip of my
What's your favourite pen? Parker
pen.
pen. Parker pen always does well in school.
Remember Parker you know what, lad? The Parker pen's the one with the bunch of different colours around it.
No, the Parker pen is the one that's probably the most expensive one. You could probably write the best writing, and it's the one that always people used to be so dead protective of. But I like that one, or the one where the different colours as well.
I never bought none of those fancy pens. I was from Kirkdale, me lads. We just got what we were given and hoped that you could keep it in it. Kirkdale, lads, standards.
But you know what though? I think for me, ultimately, you know what I mean. I think with Liverpool, it's gonna be a long season, man. You need everyone back fit. You got Kanate out for another 3 weeks. It's a big blow that just before the Champions League as well. Is Van Dijk going to be back for the Real Madrid game?
Possibly, but it doesn't matter because he's been dog shite.
Yeah, there you go then, innit? So it's not
He's
looking
been
good, man.
terrible.
And like I said, Firmino signing a new contract. Is that just a kind of a, is that sentiment as well there? Do you need to move him on? It's one of them. It's difficult times, isn't it? Like Firmino new
I
contract
don't
as
know.
well.
I think Firmino one is a bit dodgy because we just want to overhaul. But at the end of the day, we don't have the resources there for an overhaul, so we've got to keep some players. But I do get why people would be upset over that. I don't think it was definitely needed, but it's not the worst decision I've seen us make in recent time. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Hey,
100%.
but you know, I've seen links. It's definitely bullshit. There's no way we're getting 80 million for him. But I've seen links for Salah for 80 million, and it won't be 80 million. But PSG apparently are linked with Salah, or interested in Salah, which would be very, very cool. Because if Messi's going to go, they probably want another big name who can replace those shirt sales and still get eyes on the club. And listen, Mohamed Salah's still the number one Muslim athlete in the world, so I would suggest that. That could be a good move for them from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah, you know what it is though. I think with Salah, yeah, it is a marketable aspect, and also the French league, he can play till he's 34, 35.
He can get
Players are
goals in
playing
that league.
longer.
He can get goals.
He can get goals in that league and Champions League as well if fulfill their dream. You know what I mean? So I think it would be that case, and obviously Egypt as well. So I get it, I do get it, but at the same time, it's like you then have to replace Salah, who's been incredible for so many years, and the way now the transfer market's coming, how do you do that? It's going to be difficult, man. And
you have to
need
try.
New
Saeed, you might be right. We might fail at it, but you have to try because it's not working right now. Salah's still getting goals and assists, but if you're telling me we can get even 50 million plus for Salah, I'd much prefer that and contribute that to the transfer budget, opposed to keeping him for another season when all we're going to see is meaty performances. Maybe the odd goal. But believe me, there's many players out there who can be a target man on the as a right forward or whatever have you. So I don't hate the idea of I think the case study's out on Salah now. People will call me a snake for this, but that's just the price to pay when you're dead honest. And it doesn't mean I'm right. But he's been shit for the best part of a year. Ever since he came back from AFCON and lost the final, he just hasn't looked the same. Before that, he looked like an alien. And I think when you've got a case study of over 12 months now of shit football, I think that's okay to say, all right, then we tried, didn't work out. Thank you so much for the service. But right now we have to let you go because we need funds. If we had richer owners, I'd say keep him until his contract runs out. Do a David Silva, do an Aguero, do whatever. But we can't do that. We need to try and get funds for these players. Hence why we sold Mane. And if we sold Mane, why can't we sell Salah?
Yeah, and obviously Mane at the minute it's not doing well at Bayern Munich. I don't know what's going on.
We had to sell him as well. We had to sell him as well. People think, oh, Liverpool miss Mane. No, that's the last thing we need. He's not a midfielder. He was doing well at the attack, but the midfield and the defence has been our main problem. And I love Mane. In fact, that would actually be very good for me to sit here and say we're shit because of Mane, because then that would add to the argument of him being the best player in the world. But let's be honest, mate, Mane was needing to go. All the players do, and that's why Firmino, I wouldn't have hated him going. But the club is that much of a clusterfuck, and everybody looks shit. Like, you can't sell everyone, but you need to replace a good few of them. And I'm just hoping that we do that very, very soon. Because, like you said before about Chelsea, other teams, should we be worried? Yes, because they're evolving. Let's not stay stuck in the mud.
Yeah, that's facts. No, that's facts, man. Obviously, we're not in the mud. We're in the Carabao Cup final. You know what I mean? Life's good for us on our side.
Well done, 2 years, mate. Well done.
Yeah. Are you? I'm not saying you're worried in it, but do you think now with Man United now, like things are back on track with this manager? Like, you know how normally Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a lot of people said, oh, but he said that with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I feel like this is a bit different now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't have a style of play. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know what I mean? There's a lot of times where he weren't established. He weren't that guy. Like this manager now, you can see he's established, innit? You feel me? Yeah. This manager here, Ten Hag, are you kind of thinking now we've got the man now and we need to finally back him and he's on the road now to Man United bringing him forward? Because I generally think it might be too early, but I think there's signs, new ownership coming in. You know, the fans are behind him. Players are suited to his role now. He has a style, has an identity. Like things are clicking for him. And it just feels like inevitable that he will succeed at Man United. You know what I mean?
I think so. I think you've got a point there. And fair play to you, mate, because what Ten Hag has done has been absolutely sensational. The players massively respect him. He's made big decisions, which is what I love to see from a manager. It's good to see that he's been given the control, which is why I questioned if it would work out for him, because I didn't know he was going to get that control. Turns out he has, and he's done very well with that power. He is an established manager. He's a very good manager. He's gave you structure, which is very important as well. And that's probably the best thing that you can ask for a manager in the short term, and he's got you to a final, which the whole purpose in this period for Man United, big old Man United, if you're not going to win the league, at least win a trophy, and he's shown that ambition. So you ask me if I'm worried about United. I always worry about them. I don't like them to win anything. Even when you were in the Europa League and we were competing for the league, I didn't want you to win that. The only reason why I question Manchester United's success in the long term, like the way you had it under Ferguson and whatnot, is just because I think other teams have got great resources and there's always a team for the team. Manchester City aren't going anywhere. Chelsea look like they're only improving. Only time will tell on how good their structure is. But things can change over the course of a year, so I'm not sure. But if I had to be a betting man, I think Ten Hag makes Manchester United compete over the next couple of seasons for absolute sure.
Absolutely. Zemiasi saying fans were upset when Suarez said awful racist stuff against Evra. Yet some fans are okay with Greenwood treating the lady badly, even though charges get dropped. Listen, man. I don't know what to say for that in a minute. Zemiasi. Everybody's got a right to an opinion. Obviously, you have to stay within means, and you have to be respectful of everyone. At the same time, we don't know how fans are going to treat people. You know what I mean? We don't know yet. So we've just heard the news. Everything's very, very raw. But we'll see, man. We'll see.
Also remember as well, just in my opinion, there's a lot of your legends, not like Man United legends, but just like fans in general. Your legends, a lot of them are knobheads as well and have done some seedy shit, mate, and you idolise them. So I'm not saying forgive him for the action. I'm just saying if he's been dropped of charges, you might as well just give him the benefit of the doubt, because if there's no premise, if there is zero premise, and the premise is the law, and you're not going to follow that, then everyone's guilty in some sort of way. Like, yeah, the voice note isn't good, but I just think if it's going to be dropped, just like let the kid try and improve. You know what I mean? It's not, okay, let's say he is a shit-out person. How does it help by everyone else shitting on him? Do you get what I mean? He's being shat on. He's missed out a year and a half of his career. He's probably not even going to get back in the United team. If I had to guess, I don't think Ten Hag's going to want him. I don't think he's the type of player that Ten Hag looks for, in my opinion. Still, though, you've got to set a premise.
Yeah, I think it just depends on it. Like I said, I think this is going to be down to the manager on the way he kind of looks at it, whether he wants him back involved with a setup that's already settled in it. You don't want that, you know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see what he kind of looks for. But other than that, if you're looking at the Premier League right now, it's set now, isn't it? And now nobody can spend any more money. Champions League's around the corner. Who you lot playing this weekend?
Wolves,
they're fighting for their lives as well. We've got Crystal Palace at home. It's you know what, man? This top four race, James, man, it's not looking good for you guys if you don't start a run, man. If you don't start a run, it's not looking good, man. You need to start a run going again.
Would you tell Mo Farah when he's 75 to run?
Not really, no.
Yeah, you'd leave him alone and let him chill in peace. Let us chill in mid-table. Leave us the fuck alone. Yeah, we're not getting top four. What do you want me to say?
It's mad though when you think about Liverpool, who've been
That was only like negative energy in a jokey way, in case people actually thought I was fuming at Saeed there, by the way.
Now, you know what it is though? I feel like for me, someone says not looking good there, bro. It's not, and I feel like with Liverpool right now, it just seems to be like this.
Where do you think Liverpool will be next year?
I think it looks bleak for Liverpool. I really do, man. I look at the way you guys won't be able to compete financially with top clubs anymore. I think you spend it very, very smartly. As a football club, no one can deny Liverpool have spent smart in terms of they've not overspent on certain situations. Obviously, Van Dijk and Alisson, they're doing two different things. Maybe Núñez, they have done as well. But for the majority of them, you spent kind of wisely. But at the same time, how are you going to compete? How now can you compete next year with the big boys, which is Chelsea out of nowhere? You can't. And that's the worry for me. Well, it's not a worry for me. For the worry for you guys is that now, if you don't get Champions League football, you can't get Jude Bellingham. So all these Liverpool fans that keep telling me you're getting Jude Bellingham.
I'm happy to have a debate with you there. I don't think Champions League is the be-all and end-all on us getting Jude Bellingham. But I do agree with everything else.
How are you raising the funds? How are you raising the funds?
We've already got the funds.
So you've already got the funds, but then you can't buy midfielder in January?
Exactly, because it'd take away from the money that we want to spend on Jude.
Wow. And is it right for you to spend 150 odd million on one player when you need 2 or 3?
No, but that's what the club wants to do. I'm not letting you know what I would do. I'm letting you know what the club is doing, and that's the case.
And I think that's wild. I think Liverpool
It is.
Football Club are
It's bullshit.
crazy. Ben,
Bullshit.
130 odd million for, I get it, the new Steven Gerrard. I get it, the marketable player. I get it. But at the same time, you need to do what other clubs would do, buy 2 or 3 similar role of players, similar profile, and there is out there, similar profile of player, and do it the right way, and then build on to be a better team. But Jude
But that's
Bellingham
what we
goes
done
out of
before,
injury,
weren't it, Saeed?
Sorry?
That's what we done before, weren't it? We got Genie from Newcastle, who was an out there signing. We got Salah from Roma, Mane from Southampton, Van Dijk from Southampton, Alisson from Roma. Granted, these were big signings, but nowhere near established winners, which is what Liverpool were aiming to achieve. None of these guys were winners. Henderson had won a League Cup with us in 2012 with very little influence. Otherwise, these players had seen very little to no success. Van Dijk's biggest success was winning the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Mane hadn't won anything significant to that point. Salah, I think he won stuff with Chelsea, but again, very little impact. These were the names that we were going for. And now, unless I am fine with Jude Bellingham, I'm fine with it if you get another midfielder and another one and another, because we've got Milner, who's getting older. But hey, Saeed, you're there to do your first. Milner's getting a contract extension.
No way.
No, he will be. He will be getting a contract extension. I know it.
He's finished, man. He's done.
No, I know. So Henderson and Milner are probably going to stay. Oxlade and Naby are going, and that was why. I think that's why we're going to end up keeping Milner, because Oxlade and Naby's going. Say we bring Jude in, we've got Curtis there on a new contract. Then you've got Tyler Morton coming back from loan from Blackburn, and believe me, he's going to be getting used next season. Bajcetic has just signed a new contract.
He's good. Bajcetic is good, very good, man.
You just got to be careful. He's young. If you're relying on him too soon with the build that he's got, you might see like limited potential, or you might see potential unseen with the fact that you're rushing him into the team. But I agree. I think he looks like
Curtis Jones, did it? You kind of rushed him in and over relied on him, and now you know what I mean.
See, I think Curtis. Do you want me to tell you Curtis' biggest problem? I don't think we rushed him because he's never played consistently. But the one thing I will say about Curtis is that he's never played a full season of men's football. So if you think about it, when he came through the academy, he simply scored that goal against Everton and was just in and out of the team, if that makes sense. And then from there, he's never been loaned out. So Harvey Elliott got loaned out to Blackburn a couple of seasons ago, which turns out to be very good for him because he's been one of our at least more consistent players this season. Curtis Jones has never had that. And I think without momentum, Curtis Jones, you don't see the best out of him. So until we see that consistency, which you would think it'd be next season with the lack of midfielders, then I don't even know what to think about Curtis myself. I know he's got good technical ability, and that's it.
I think technically he's all right. You know, I remember he came out. Was it Old Trafford? He came 5-0 when we played 5-0. Yeah, he was quality that day, and I thought he kind of showed himself to be a good player. But again, you need consistency. You need to be stay injury fit. You need to be in the plans of the manager. You need a lot of things to go your way. And I think ultimately, you know, it's one of them situations where, you know, you don't get the rub of the green. You don't get that kind of, you know, breakthrough, and then you don't find that consistency. You don't get in the team. It's simple as that, man. It's so hard for a player now to stay in the team when you're young as well, man. Unless you're special talent, it's difficult, man. You know what I mean? Because you're always looking for another solution. You look for experience in Naby Keita, but then Naby Keita doesn't give you the qualities. But you're just kind of playing him because you spent so much money on him. So it's one of them, man. I just feel like it's one of them. What do you reckon about the title race then? Arsenal, Jorginho. They bought in Jorginho. Easy money, 12 million. Are they still favourites for you, or are you still thinking Man City?
Easy Arsenal win this year. City still aren't the same. Arsenal the best that they've been since the Invincibles. They're unbelievable. They're an unbelievable team. The only question for me is if they kick on. I have no doubt that they probably will. If they win another league title, I'm not sure, because you've got to take into assessment the improvements of City and Chelsea, etc. That being said, lad, Arsenal, unbelievable. What a football team. I've watched them the most this season, besides Liverpool, of course. But in terms of another team, they're the team I've watched the most this season because they play the most beautiful football in the league.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So I think for me, I think with Arsenal, one thing about Arsenal is that they've just got that steel about them, and that's the situation that Man City fans have got to worry about. They're not soft now. They don't have that soft underbelly now. Before, you could say to them, get into their heads mentally, they're a bit weak. Xhaka's doing this and that. Now Xhaka stopped what he's doing. Partey looks meaner, fitter, stronger. You know what I mean? Odegaard has more responsibilities now. You got Nketiah playing, you know what I mean, out of this world right now. Everything is set up for what do you call it? Arsenal to win this league, and it's reality now. And if they could just keep a consistent running, I think that now they've dropped out the FA Cup, they have a week's more rest. Now that I reckon they're not going to prioritize Europa League. Man City will prioritize the Champions League, so they've got less priorities than Man City. So I think now they can just put all the eggs in one basket, go for this Premier League, and nail it on, man. And you know, I think I reckon they'll be champions at the end of the year. I just don't see anyone stopping them. Man City have
I've
still
said,
got.
go on. No, go on, you go.
Man City has still got deficiencies in their team. Lost Cancelo, not replaced him. You might say, "Oh, Cancelo, this and that," but Cancelo will turn into his form. Will be good in the end. Like it's not as if it was kind of a bad loss of form. That's all it was. It wasn't a case of his talent's gone. But at the same time,
Apparently
you
he was
haven't
causing
replaced
shit,
him.
though.
Eh?
Apparently he was causing shit as well, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can cause a shit, but you still need to replace him. You know,
Okay.
Eh?
Okay.
Ake is good, but it's come on, man.
He's
There's going to
played
be
well.
limitations.
He's
He
played
plays
well.
well, don't get me wrong. But there'll be
Yeah.
limitations, though. At the end of the
No
day, there
doubt.
will be limitations.
But there's been more limitations with the mistakes that Cancelo has been making recently during a period where apparently he's been a little shit at the football club. So I'm thinking maybe it might be a good thing and they just never replaced him in time. Also, they might like Rico Lewis, who looks like a decent player. He's a left back, actually, isn't he? But yeah, wait there. Cancelo was playing. Wait, right back or left back was Cancelo playing for City?
Left back is his main kind of like
left back,
target. He does play right back as well.
Oh no, Rico's a right back as well, isn't he?
Yeah, but he plays better than the left, Cancelo.
Yeah.
But then again, now for Bayern, he went straight into right wing back. So it's a bit of a sticky one still. You know what I'm saying?
That's good, to be honest. That was a weird one because literally it was only a couple of months ago City fans were saying Cancelo was better than Trent going forward and whatever have you. And I was thinking, oh, okay, fair enough. And now he's gone. So that was interesting.
Yeah. Big Steve in the terrace saying Cancelo was a problem. Yeah, but then again, obviously he's going to protect Guardiola, innit? You know what I mean? You're always going to be manager first, then Guardiola. But you don't know with Guardiola that he's not bothered about is leaving players. Like if say now Haaland wanted to go, he's not going to beg him to stay. Like he's going to say, "Oh, listen, you can go." At the end of the day, he'll always find a replacement. He has the funds to replace you, so he's not going to say to whoever, like you know, I beg you to stay. That's not what he does. He always replaces you, and he believes in his philosophy. He believes in what he does. And nobody's bigger than Guardiola. Nobody's bigger than what they're trying to build. And that's the way forward. I think even Ten Hag's similar as well. Like, he's not relying on one player. Nor should Guardiola. Nor should any club be, really.
Yeah.
So if you want to leave, you go leave. You spit your dummy out. You want to go, go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody wants you here, in a sense. So,
Ten Hag's phenomenal at identifying what he needs. You know, you've saw Ajax drop off this season. But remember the season when they got the Champions League semi-final and they lost to Young, De Ligt, a few other players as well, and just brought in killers, absolute killers. Dusan Tadic, who was, you know, I can't believe we never signed him. Honestly, even Klopp came out and said that he wished he signed Tadic, and I was thinking that at the time he was at Southampton. I thought he was a quality player, but Ajax just went in, swooped him. Sebastian Haller went there last season, done a lot of bits for them, scored loads of goals, good target man. And the system was brilliant. You know, you've seen other players like Timber. And of course, they have a great academy. But just his philosophy and his efficiency of style of play, I think that's what Ten Hag's strength is. And I like Ten Hag for that reason, you know what I mean? He is a really good manager. The only thing that you've got to wait and see is he the best? Because you've still got Pep, you've still got other managers. So that's what remains to be seen.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's just going to be interesting, man, and I'm looking forward to it, man. And like I said, you got the relegation battle as well. Who have you still got to going down now? Still, so far, who have you got going down? Don't know if we've lost him there. Are you there? Don't know if you're there, mate. No, we've lost him. Guys, not 5:30, but around 5:00, we'll be talking about Mason Greenwood. So, guys, leave that for later on. Well, we have the Mandem. We'll be talking about that and we'll be discussing that in that show. So people, please wait for that on that show. Yeah, hopefully we got James Redmond back in. James, are you there?
Yeah, can you see me and hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. We can hear you.
But I'll
You're
stay in
saying,
one spot because I've been just walking around.
what I was going to say to you, in terms of the relegation zone,
Team's going
what,
down.
who,
Yep.
yeah, still, who's going down? Because Everton have not spent any money. So, you know what? I don't know, because Southampton spent big money.
It's funny,
And
lad.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't even know. They were going to sign Zaniolo from Roma, Bournemouth, weren't they? And then something went wrong there.
They rejected him. They said, we don't have any money left because we spent so
Yeah.
much money.
Yeah, no, definitely. Nah, that's funny. That now Everton is I don't know. It's a weird one with Everton. To be honest, it's not really. They're a shithole of a football club, and I wouldn't mind seeing them go down. I think it's quite funny. To be honest, I'm not one of those fans where like, oh, I hope you stay up and whatever. I couldn't give two shiny shites. Like, go down. You know what I mean? And I think like I'll be honest, collectively, certain groups, not everyone, because there's a lot of Scouse Everton fans and Everton fans in general who are normal sound people. But just the collective unity of the fan base has just looked really, really toxic recently. That's not to go with the whole fan base, but it's not good. And I've seen, Everton fans give me shit on Twitter, and when they come in numbers, they can be really ruthless. Definitely one of the more like horrible fan bases I've had trouble with online. Of course, that's because I'm a Liverpool fan, no doubt. But I think even the way they treated the players, and Anthony Gordon's a kid, and he's got grown men whacking on his car, and then you're just thinking, can we just remember the circumstances here, opposed to him being a footballer for your team? Can we just remember like a kid? I was in the same. I was in the same school as Anthony Gordon, same class as Anthony Gordon.
Wow,
a lot of people don't
now.
know. Yeah, lad, back in year 6, so like before high school it was, and we were in the same class. He weren't even that good, lad. It was funny, because it weren't even that good at football then. That was before he played for Everton. He was a Liverpool fan, funnily enough. But yeah, the thing. What was the point of me bringing that up? I just remember the fun fact, and that's now it's got rid of the point. Oh yeah, but
about the Everton situation, yeah.
That's it. It's just like, why? He's a kid, you know what I mean? He's the same age as me, and I wouldn't like that many people giving me shit just because of a footy match. Just swerve it, mate. So yeah, I think they kind of coloured themselves in a bad light, and I think this would be good for the football club in the long term. I think going down, fresh restart, new fresh resources, and you'll actually be competing for something. And that's not me taking the piss, by the way, Saeed. They don't compete. Of course.
100%, man. And that's the situation that's happening right now. So I feel like Sean Dyche, though, it's going to be a good manager, though, for him to kind of get in there and obviously fix up, man. Because now at least then they'll be able to kind of like, what do you call it, have some sort of steel about them, you know what I mean, and have some sort of solidity, and try and hopefully make them tougher to beat. I think James Redmond will come back. Don't know what's going on with him in there. But yeah, guys, I don't know what's going to happen with that situation. Big up to, he's still not good at football. I'm not going to lie to you. When he first came in at Everton, I just thought to myself, you know what? He's a workhorse. He's a live wire. He makes things happen. He kind of like, he gave Everton a kick in the teeth. And I think for me, he just kind of gave Everton a little bit of a push. They seen a new youngster coming through. They were like excited. Obviously now it's not worked the way it's meant to be working. And, it's one of them, man. Yeah, I was just saying about Sean Dyche, James. Do you reckon Sean Dyche could do a lot at Everton, or is it too much too soon?
I think it's probably a bit too much too soon. Sean Dyche didn't have a great record with Burnley. Everton just shithole.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me? No, I can't hear you now. James, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. No, can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you, James. Yeah, man. Liverpool need to sort their 4G out, man. What's happening in Merseyside, man? No, I think you're covering the mic. You might be covering the mic. Yeah, man. Yo, listen, man. Hopefully when he gets his new flat, it'll be all good, man. You know what I'm saying? Everton Wi-Fi. I'm telling you, man. You know what I mean? But I don't know where he's in. Kirby? Is he in Toxif? Is he in where else is there? Parkhead, Parkside, Croxteth. Where is he in Liverpool? Let us know, people. Let us know, man. Yeah, he's back again. He's back again. Yeah, can you hear me now?
I don't even know if this is gonna work.
Yeah,
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on.
Sick. I was just...
Yep, he's gone again. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, he's done out here. He's done. But anyway, people, I think we're gonna wrap it up there anyway, to be honest with you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna redirect you guys to Mandem Talk for later on. Yeah, James Redmond's gonna be a sticky one, man. It's gonna be a sticky one. Can't lie to you guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Hopefully next week will be okay. I'm sorry about any audio issues, any issues like that. I apologize. FSG Wi-Fi. FSG, you need to sort him out, man. FSG, man. Sort him out. You know what I mean? Help him out. This is not good enough of you guys, man. It's not good enough of you guys. You need to be sorting him out and helping him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on, man? You don't have it. As that's what I said to you people. They're finished, Liverpool, man. Everything's finished. Wi-Fi finished. Everything's gone. So, yeah, man, it's peak. But listen, people, I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate everybody coming on the stream. I am going to redirect you to Mandem Talk. We'll be live, Mandem Talk, people, in about 3 hours' time. 2 hours' time, people. 2 hours' time. So everybody go into that link that right now that's going to be sent to you. I appreciate everybody. Thoughts on Greenwood. Guys, get into the Mandem Talk group chat. Have your opinion. And we will speak about me, Tyrone, Musa, Kaz, and Neji as well will be in that Mandem Talk. So it's a time to have it. We'll be respectful. Everybody in there, if you're not respectful, you're going to get blocked. Simple as that. So if you come out with rude statements, you're getting blocked. Come out with logical answers, logical questions, and we speak about it as civil people. Yeah? So people, when you come into that chat later on, anything that's said that's derogatory or anything that's out of character or anything like that, we're not going to have that. You have to come in with sense and we talk football and we talk about situations because at the end of the day, there's still people involved. There's still victims. There's still people whose families have been distraught by this all. So at the end of the day, we have to be respectful, yeah? So at the end of the day, we'll talk about it real, yeah? So at the end of the day, like I said, check out the video. It's going to probably take you there right now. Go into that link right now and like the video, people. You're going to get redirected to that video at the end of this video. Take care.